Hello and welcome to another episode of Keeping BZ. I'm Zach, joined with Brandon, and today I'm going to be attempting to show you the horror RPG on the NES known as Sweet Home, a game that a lot of people consider to be the predecessor to Resident Evil, one of Brandon's favorite franchises, as if you couldn't tell by looking at this channel. So, what's this game like? Let's find out. Thank you, me, for starting us off. One thing I did forget to mention is that this is based off of a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie released in 1989, made by a pretty popular horror director. Now, unfortunately, it only got like a VHS and Laserdisc release only in Japan. And that ended up being it, because it never really came officially to the West, because there were a bunch of rights issues between the different people that worked on the movie. But yeah, alongside the movie, they had this tie-in game, which actually the VHS tape that you can find online of the movie starts with an advertisement for the game. And the game itself is made by Capcom, and it's a lot more ambitious than what you would usually expect. Especially of an NES game.
The game lets you change the names, but I skipped the name change. Just to surprise Brandon. I want to see if he guesses the theme.
I already got it. I just needed to see Abed, and then it kind of made things obvious.
Yeah. So now our characters are trapped in a house, and the goal is simple: to get out. They gotta survive the ghastly ghosts and all the... Just gotta survive the house.
Yep, being trapped in a place, which is one of Zach's favorite setups for anything.
It is. I don't know why someone would think to bring a vacuum cleaner here. I guess it's an old house. You never know when you might need to sweep up some dust, but... I wonder what they were originally going to be here for. I think they said an investigation. So what makes someone think to bring a vacuum to an investigation anyway? The one thing our party knows is to look at these frescoes. They'll give you clues on how to progress in the game.
Yes, I haven't seen a lot of the movie, only a little chunk of it. I plan to watch the entire film at some point, but the setup basically in the movie is that it's a team of like basically it's a crew that work at a TV station. There are a bunch of reporters, and they're investigating this mansion to basically examine and document the frescoes, because they are made by a extremely famous painter, and the legacy behind these paintings has gone kind of undocumented.
Yeah, I recorded this initially blind, but this is post-commentary, so we're gonna have some edits, because they're necessary. And I'm just trying to figure out how this inventory system works. A lot of this game is old and outdated in terms of menu design. If you want to pick up an item, you have to choose item, and then you have to go to an empty space in your inventory, and then you have to move it. And just like Resident Evil 0, you do have to move a lot of inventory between characters. And there's even less slots in this game than there is in 0.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder if Sweet Home was a little bit of an inspiration for Resident Evil 0. Not that I've ever played 0, but I've seen a playthrough of it, and it looks annoying.
0 is... It might be my least favorite Resident Evil game, purely just because I find its mechanic of taking away the item box and having to drop items everywhere makes the gameplay remarkably tedious and dull. Like, to a point where even the games that frustrate me more, like Code Veronica or 6, at least don't bore me to death, like 0.
Well, if there's one thing I can say about Sweet Home, it's not boring. But it is a whole lot of other things. One mechanic I really do like in this game, which is what mainly interested me in it, is the party split-up mechanic. We'll be seeing a lot of use of this. You can only have 3 people in a party at max, though. If you want to be stupid, you could have everybody go off in separate directions, but no. Don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, especially because this game relies on permadeath, right?
I believe so, yes.
And you kind of need everybody to get to the end of the game, because if you don't, leaving one of them out kind of makes progression, from what I understand, very difficult.
There are some replacement items. What makes each character important is that they each carry their own key item, which is the item in the top of their inventory. But you can find replacements, but those replacements will take an inventory spot instead of a key item spot.
Right.
So, for example, instead of a vacuum, you can give a character a broom. Instead of the lighter, you can use matches, things like that. But honestly, I feel like if you ever lost a character, I feel you should just reload. One nice thing about this game is that you can save and load at any time.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That actually helps a lot for a game this old.
Yeah, trust me, you'll need it. You only get 1 save slot, though, so use it wisely.
I see.
In fact, if you go to the main menu and you press start, it immediately loads your save file. It doesn't even ask for new game or continue.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to start a new file, I think you actually have to choose the quit option. Yeah, I think this game was deliberately designed to potentially have dead ends on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, how likely is it for you to end up in a dead end? I don't know, but I can certainly see some potential for it.
I adore the soundtrack to Sweet Home, by the way. I love the way that it creates atmosphere, and I think the battle theme is perfect. Like the balance of that like unsettling tone, but also it's just the action, the energy of it.
Yeah, I will say I really like the music. It's perfectly foreboding. And it does give this game an atmosphere for a 8-bit NES game.
Yes. So, I first was made aware of Sweet Home, like a lot of people were, when in the late 2000s, YouTuber Derek Alexander, known at that time as the Happy Video Game Nerd, he's now known as, his channel is Stop Skeletons from Fighting, and he did a Happy Video Game Nerd video reviewing Sweet Home and going deep into it. He actually spoiled most of the story just to sort of explain, you know, why this game is so special. And that video, like a lot of Derek's videos, just enraptured me with how it introduced me to new, kind of underrated games I'd never heard of before. And everything about Sweet Home, at least at that time, just looked amazing and so forward-reaching in terms of mechanics to me. And I wanted to play it one day. I just never really got around to it. But yeah, the more I've seen over time, the more I'm just like, oh, this looks like this game would be a lot of trial and error and not so much being scared.
I did reach a point where I felt like I needed to restart, so I could just, like, I wanted to restart the file and then restart the recording, but I figured, no, that'd be lying about this game. I'm going to show this game the way most people would probably play it, which is flailing around helplessly, trying to figure out how anything works.
Yeah.
These worms suck, by the way, but there is a trick to beating them that the game will teach you later. I don't know his actual Japanese name, but Troy, the one with the lighter, you can use the lighter and it will deal massive damage to the worms.
I see.
Oh, that tonic does not do what I think it does here. The tonic, as far as I'm aware, is pretty much a full restore for your entire party.
Oh.
I thought it would be something that was used to cure the status ailment.
Right.
You can't cure the status ailment with a tonic. You have to use the nurse. I have no idea how you're supposed to continue this game without the nurse. I feel like if you lose other people, the game gives you items to let you continue. I assume the game would give you an extra medkit as well, but man, you need the nurse because this game loves to inflict you with status ailments, and the only way I found to cure those is with the nurse's medkit. Party members can block each other, by the way, so you do have to be careful about where you position other people.
I do really like that music cue. I really like that music cue that it plays as you transition into battle, though I do think it would become tedious over time just because it plays every single time before a battle starts.
There is going to be a lot of cuts. I am going to cut out some of the battles, and I am also going to cut out some moments where I'm having characters catch up to other characters.
Ooh, that does not look friendly.
Actually, he is.
Oh, okay.
That zombie will actually... Oh.
Oh.
Fuck this mechanic. Fuck this mechanic so hard. So that wood we used to form a bridge, it's now permanently gone.
Oh.
And we can't cross without using more wood. Now, something that I should have kept in mind better is that you can pick up that wood again. You can carry it with you. But if there's one thing that I feel like could cause a dead game, it's running out of wood. How likely would that be? I'm not sure, but I can definitely see one area where it could be a major possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not even cause a dead game, but at least cause a character to be stuck in a location forever.
What is that stuff on the floor? Glass?
I assume it's glass. You need to vacuum it.
I am seeing the inspirations for Resident Evil in subtle ways kind of throughout the design, whether it's the Haunted Mansion setting, the kind of limited inventory system, the scarcity of items, that time where you unlocked a door and you actually got that little animation of the door opening, which is very much like the load screens in the Resident Evil games. I'm definitely seeing a lot of what inspired things, instead of directly taking from it.
This game does do a lot of neat things for an RPG that I don't think ever really came back. The idea of split parties? I can't really think of many RPGs that let you do that. The closest I could think of is Persona 3. I think this is portable exclusive, where you can send your party members out to split up and explore a floor faster.
Ah, okay.
I think that's exclusive to Persona 3 Portable. But I can't think of another time where you can split up party members. It was covered in dust, so we had to vacuum the fresco. Now we can use the camera to take a picture of it.
Ah, I see. Alright. That's a clue, I guess? See, if you see I mean, in terms of like a game that really, really would benefit from getting a full remake, it definitely would be Sweet Home.
Oh yeah, if this got a remaster / full remake, I would definitely keep an eye on it.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I got hit by a chandelier and then immediately... yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, because there's a lot of mechanics here that could be obviously freshened up or given quality of life improvements. You know, nothing too overblown, because you still got to keep the tension and the careful balancing of the original game. But I think, you know, it isn't just, oh, well, they made those Resident Evil games and they built off of what Sweet Home started and they improved upon that formula. I don't know. I think Sweet Home is enough of its own thing, or if you made a remake of it, it would totally still work because it has enough that keeps it unique.
I'd love to see another game try what Sweet Home did. I wonder if you'd have to make it a completely different thing, like drop the license entirely.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't even mind if we, for lack of a better word, Mighty Number 9'd Sweet Home. Just give it an entirely fresh coat of paint, make it more original, but then just completely remaster and modernize this game. Because I really do like a lot of its ideas, but I don't want to spoil what the ending is.
Alright.
But let's just say I get annoyed. Constantly having to use menus and constantly having to switch party members, I can see definitely getting old by the end of the game, but I think it's something I could adjust to. But the game has a lot of other issues that drove me up a wall.
Aha.
Despite that, I did record for about 3 hours because I was kind of having fun, but it wasn't enough.
Oh, that lightning effect is actually quite cool, even if it is blinding.
Yeah. No, I love the way the light comes through the windows, too. The two of us picked up silver knives, but I've never seen the silver knives do that much damage. I wonder if they're for specific enemies, maybe?
Right, I mean, if they specify silver, maybe that would be effective against different kinds of enemies, or maybe it just means, hey, it's a silver knife that does maybe a little more damage than other ones, or less.
Whenever I was using the silver knife and I had the little girl use the fruit knife, it looked like they were both doing the same amount of damage. They were both only dealing 1 point.
Okay.
So I wonder if the silver knife is meant for specific enemies. Later on, you do also get a clue that rune weapons... Oh, I skipped a random battle.
Oh, okay.
If you have rune weapons, it apparently prevents some status ailments. I'm not sure what silver would be effective against. I guess spirits? But usually when I think of silver, I think of werewolves.
Right, yeah, same with me. I've seen some media that makes vampires weak to silver and werewolves weak to vampire. Werewolves weak to, yeah, vampire weaknesses. For some reason, just some media likes to either mix things up or they forgot, or I don't know.
Abed and Troy both currently have Oak Spears, so they're able to deal a lot more damage.
Nice.
I think damage seems to be based on your weapon plus your level, if I had to guess. And yeah, if you know anything about RPGs, you probably already know what poison does in this game. If you're poisoned, you do take damage with every step. If you want to use the nurse's medkit on someone not in the party, you have to walk up specifically to that character and hit use. But if they're in the nurse's party, you can just hit use and she'll use the medkit on everybody with a status ailment in your party automatically.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you'd probably need to get to the other side in order to get the stuff in that room, unless there's a way to break through all that rubble it dropped down.
There might be. There is a spare camera in there, too. Yeah, I moved the tonic over to Z-Gen first before using it, because I thought it was only on one character, but no, it's the entire party.
Yep.
So don't waste any of them like I did.
So will the lighter... Oh yeah, so the lighter does light up this room. Cool. Oh, yep. Great. Great.
This is a cool mechanic, though, being able to call the other party members and then you can all join in on the same battle. That's a very cool idea.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that was the thing. That's neat.
For whatever reason in this game, bloody corpses are just very nice. They'll give you tips.
Yeah, I guess they must just be people cursed by whatever is haunting this house, so that way they feel like they need to help people. It's kind of like the zombies in Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Those bats do start an encounter, by the way. And yeah, I never thought of that correlation, but that is a good point. Oh, chair!
Oh no, chair!
Don't worry, I dodged it. I'm a pro. And now random encounter.
I'm guessing it's random whether or not any of those directions will actually stop the chair. Or, like, you know, keep you from getting hit.
There might be a clue. I have noticed that I think I noticed that the text will sometimes appear on the left or right side, and usually if I found myself, like, if the text is on the right side, if I hit right, that seemed to have worked, but I don't know if that was just me being lucky or if the game is actually giving a hint. Oh, yeah, they didn't make it in time, so the battle continues. You do only get a limited number of time to get the party over there. And it seems like if they fail to get over there the first time, you don't get any more time. There's not really much you can do in battle. There's not really special attacks you get. Well, there is praying. And praying is weird. It kind of acts like a high damage magic attack. But yeah, with a bar.
Oh.
And you can hit the bar at the right time to be able to spend a certain amount of prayer points in order to deal more damage. And I have no idea how it recovers on its own. When you drink a tonic, it says prayer points recovered. But I don't know if you can get prayer points any other way, like if they just regenerate on their own. Or if you get them back on level ups.
I noticed that pray was also something you could do when one of the chairs is flying at you or something's about to fall on you, and you can pray. I don't know what that would even do in this case. Maybe you would pray to destroy that object?
Yeah, I do use the prayer option later on. I think if you are able to use enough prayer points, it will automatically save you. Oh, another random encounter. Well, this one's not a random encounter. This is a bat. Bats show up on the screen, and if you run into them, it is an encounter. So yeah, we just beat one, and now we're in another one.
Great. Maybe there's mods out there to, like, decrease the battles by half.
I think there is a mod for the first Mother game that does something like that, or at the very least gives you equipment that cuts the encounter rate in half. There is an easier way to beat the bats. If you use the flash of the camera, it deals a lot of damage to them. But I didn't know that at this point. I do wish these characters could learn, like, instead of prayer points just being a thing you spend through a meter, and then you just deal extra damage, I wish each character could learn some kind of, like, special prayer that's their own personal spell.
Yeah. Instead of them all just praying. Oh my god.
Another bat encounter, by the way. By the way, one thing I did learn, although I think this happens off-screen, if you're... I forgot I added that. So, if the party you're not controlling touches the bat, it automatically starts an encounter, even if you're not playing as them.
Oh, that sucks. Uh-oh. Oh. Okay.
Oh, that happened. If I could describe Sweet Home in one way, it is certainly, well, that just happened. This game loves its things happening. Dropping chandeliers and chairs and encounters. Wasting time. Pressing the B button outside of combat will bring up... If you're ever outside of combat, you can hit the B button and it will show everyone's life. Fuck the zombie. The zombie sucks. So, one thing I didn't know until I tested it out later, if a character is stunned in your party attacks, for whatever reason, the stunned character takes the damage from your party instead of the enemy.
What?
I don't know. I thought at first the game was glitching and showing the wrong name. No, I tested it off screen. If a character is stunned, they take the damage from your party. I don't understand why. That's not normally how stun works. Normally stun is just your character can't act. And here, the stunned character can't act, which that part makes sense, but if we attack, I really, really hate stun. If you run into a zombie and get stunned, I think the only thing you can do is run. I think even if you pray, I think you just end up dealing a whole lot of damage against the character that's stunned.
Oh, good. I'm just I'm shocked by that, but yeah, I saw, like, yeah, you took like 30 points of damage when you first went into that battle from this. It was either the zombie or from, yeah, your party attacking and the damage hitting you. It's just, why? It's so aggressive when the enemies so far haven't hit that hard.
Sometimes enemies just hit for 20 out of nowhere. I think I was fighting a worm, and usually it dealt like 2 points of damage, and then at one point it dealt 15. Now, the zombie stunning you isn't even a problem, it's just the fact that a stunned character takes the hits, and I don't get how that works. So we have a goal, we gotta go find a generator.
Okay, man. It's another horror game where you have to find a generator, but no, it's not even just a horror game, it's like the horror game. And did it start this trope? Was there other games that did this? I'm sure there's really tabletop RPGs that would have you looking for a generator to turn on, but the amount of horror games I have played over my life where it goes, whoops, power's out, gotta go to the basement to turn on the generator. I feel like every single one of them has to do that at some point.
Here it's not even because the power's out, it's because a ghost forces you out of this room if the generator's down.
What? What sense does that make?
Yeah. I don't know! But if you take a picture of this fresca, fuck this room. That room to the top left, fuck that room. If you take a picture of the fresca in the top left room, it'll say you need to turn on the generator before you can move forward. I guess it's because if you turn on the generator, the ghost is happier?
Okay. Also, it's that point in the video where I have some Sweet Home trivia, which is basically just the director. The director is Tokuro Fujiwara, and Fujiwara was also the director of the original Ghosts and Goblins. He also directed both the arcade and the NES port of Bionic Commando.
There is something I'd like for you to pay attention during this fight. I believe it happens in this fight. I mean, maybe not this one, never mind. Base, you said he did the NES version of... Oh wait, no, yeah, it's this one.
Yeah, he did both the original arcade version and the NES port of Bionic Commando. Oh boy, yeah, here we go again.
I'm in the middle of being called to a battle too, and now she's stuck hanging on.
Oh, great. And now someone's stunned, right? Because the screen went blue.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep. And I just dealt 15 damage to Abed. If you ever come across a zombie, don't do what I did. Run from the battle. Do not waste your time. In fact, probably don't even waste your time with Sweet Home at all, if I'm being honest. If Sweet Home interests you, if Sweet Home interests you, give it a shot. Maybe you'll have the patience. I don't. And one of the reasons I don't have the patience is this damn wood mechanic. It wouldn't even be such a bad thing if the problem is, oh, you walked on it too many times. Apparently, to walk on it too many times, you just do it 3 times, apparently. Or at the very least, my luck is that bad. Oh, he got taken away.
So many mechanics and status effects affecting you all at the same time.
This early in the game, too. So I'm trying to unfreeze Abed, but I need to be playing specifically as Britta in order to cure Abed.
Alright.
I keep thinking I can use the kit yet, so there's me cutting ahead to realizing how to do it. Britta needs to be the one up front, because if somebody is interacting with someone outside of the party, then the only two people that are interacting are the leader of the party and the person they're talking to. And I also cut ahead to when I got Troy to re-team with everybody else.
Yeah, it sure seems like a lot of busy work. I'm just trying to make progress. Stop taking everybody away.
This game doesn't want you to make progress, I guess.
Most recently, the director made... I mean, in terms of, like, original projects, I mean, he actually was the director and art director and game designer for the Tomba games for the PS1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went from Sweet Home to this. Or, I guess, yeah. Yeah, to Tomba. And he still pokes his head in here and there. Primarily, he helps out with some of the modern interpretations we've gotten of Ghosts and Goblins, like Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins for the PSP, or Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, which came out on pretty much everything. And I have to admit, Ghosts and Goblins, definitely not my taste in games.
I tried Super Ghosts and Goblins, and it did not go well. I'm not gonna take a battle axe. I'm me. I'm a weeb. I want a sword.
Alright. We can team up, I guess. Yep. 3 times like you said. Zach, no. I don't like the reference. No.
You missed it. That's the second time I referenced it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Also, I guess women can't equip axes.
Yes, they're much too heavy. But also, you know, standard RPG stereotypes of who the woman must be the healer and she's not allowed to do anything.
What the hell am I doing?
I have no idea, Zach.
But yeah, one of those things I was talking about when it came to,
Oh, you had no more wood, so you couldn't get back across. Oh, so that's why you always need to pick up the wood and take it with you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wonder if you can reset some sort of counter by every time you walk over the wood, you pick up the wood and put it back down in the same spot. I never thought about that.
Yeah, maybe. It actually is somewhat fitting that we're doing this game now, Zach, because Good Old Games, GOG.com, just released the original Resident Evil on their store page.
Yeah, that's right. That is a weird coincidence. That's a good point. That's not even the reason I did this. I figured Sweet Home, I've heard it can be annoying to play, and I thought it would be the perfect test for this new post-commentary setup. But yeah, it is actually topical.
And Zach, is somebody like you that is not really into horror stuff or even like the designs of the Resident Evil games that much, I would still say that you would probably have a better time and find it to be a lot more manageable to play the original Resident Evil on PS1 over this game.
Oh, yeah, no argument. Honestly, I originally wanted to make the joke that, oh, Sweet Home started before... I originally wanted to make the joke, Resident Evil was inspired by Sweet Home and somehow it got worse. But I couldn't make that joke because Sweet Home annoyed me too much, and I was just like, nah, I'm not even going to say that as a joke. Sweet Home's I could definitely play Resident Evil more than I could play Sweet Home, which is bizarre because I like my RPGs, and I'm not a big fan of survival horror, but I'd rather play Resident Evil.
Sure, that said, I would like to see more horror RPGs like this game.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to see if we could come up with a list of horror RPGs, because I can't think of many. There's Kadelka. Kadelka always comes to mind. That's one I gotta play at some point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kadelka, of course. I mean, that spun off the Shadow Hearts games, but I wouldn't necessarily call the Shadow Hearts games horror as much as they have like a horror aesthetic, while Kadelka itself is definitely like a survival horror game with a like grid-based strategy battle system.
Another horror RPG that I literally actually just discovered last night from a YouTuber that I like watching named Punchy, he did a video a while ago on Mark of the Mermaid, which is a Japanese-only horror strategy RPG based on the Lovecraft mythos.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it looks like an interesting game, but you can break it pretty easily because the game, pretty much every action you do gives you experience points, and one of those actions you can do to gain experience points is to stand around and heal your HP or your MP.
Okay.
And so what you can do is you can either take damage or spend MP, and then you can just waste turns recovering, and you'll get experience. Oh yeah, I skipped another zombie battle, and the zombie froze my partner. Chandelier! Earlier when you were talking, I thought you were going to say something like, you know, Zach, for someone that doesn't like horror games a whole lot, you certainly pick a lot of horror games for the channel.
I mean, it is true, though.
I don't mean to. I just have trouble thinking of keeping BZ games, and for whatever reason, some of the ones I've picked recently have all been horror. I swear I'm not into horror games. It's just for whatever reason. Like I was interested in Crow Country. That happens to be horror. I think Sweet Home is an interesting attempt at a horror RPG for the time it was made. I wanted us to do a blind reaction to Indigo Park. And then Gregory Horror Show is a game based on a series I like.
I'm not sure if this is necessarily a horror game or not. I would imagine it is by the cover and some of the ways that the title is translated. But another horror RPG I can think of, which came out in '88, actually a year before Sweet Home, is called, in English, it's called Necromancer. That was made by Hudson Soft, and that came out on the PC Engine, or the TurboGrafx. And it was released on the Wii U, but as far as I know, they didn't translate it on the Virtual Console. It's just the game in Japanese, and it's just like, what the hell, Nintendo? But it always looked interesting to me, and another, take on somebody trying to do a horror RPG game. I don't think it ever got, like, a fan translation either, so it might be kind of difficult to play. Poor Annie.
It's the third time.
Oh, God.
And also, I got hit by a rock while I was picking up Annie. So we escaped that chair.
But used up a bunch of prayer points.
Yeah. But hey, we escaped the chair at least. We avoided damage. God damn it. Another chair.
What the hell is F-light? Just a flashlight?
Flashlight.
Oh, okay, and that just takes away whatever that is. Okay.
I decided to have some fun with the encounters.
Phew. Okay, great.
Thank you, doll.
I love the music when you're just talking to characters or creatures, where it's very chill. It's kind of, I don't know what I want to call it. It's kind of almost rockin' or hip sounding. It's like dun dun dun, dun dun dun.
That is a very good track. It's kind of a weird mix of horror, but also like being cool.
Yeah.
This game really wants to keep you on your toes.
And it really wants to kill Annie. I guess because she's at the front of the group.
I don't think that's it. I think she's just getting really unlucky. Actually, maybe it is because she's in front of the group. I never thought about that.
That's a pretty good 8-bit sound for a creaky door opening. Okay. That's ominous. Alright.
Oh, that was the thing we did.
Used up prayer points for nothing.
There's a clue later on that says you need to give the knight a spear.
Oh, I see.
And I tried giving it one of the spear weapons I had, but that didn't seem to be an option.
Spooky. He's coughing up blood, which is, I guess, pretty intense for a Nintendo game. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, Nintendo's known as that company that would censor all their games and make sure that they were age appropriate, especially on the Super Nintendo. But whatever reason, this game, well, it came out in Japan. It didn't come out in the US, but still. Yep, okay. Oh.
I thought that was lava at first for some reason, but no, it's fire.
Okay. Pretty cool effect, even if it does suck.
That's actually a good way to describe Sweet Home. It's pretty cool. Too bad it sucks. Okay, I don't know if I want to go that far.
Oh yeah, this game definitely takes a lot of endurance and very, very careful, fast decision making, which is not for everybody. And I don't know if I'd be able to stomach to get to the end of this game or not.
I do wonder how long this game is.
Don't fuck with me!
Oh.
I have the power of God and anime on my side! Wait,
So that was truly the mystery at the end of Sweet Home. We finally destroyed the monster.
I rage quit. I couldn't take this game anymore.
Well, join us next time on Keeping BZ, where Zach will probably choose another horror game.
No, it won't be a horror game. I'll choose something completely
He
different.
says that now.
I can't even think of another horror game to pick, honestly.
I'm sure you'll think of something, Zach. Don't worry. I have faith in you to pick another horror game.
No, it won't. It will not be another horror game. By the way, thank you for joining. I hope you all enjoyed that ending. And have a good day.
All right. See ya.